Imagine a place that tells a story spanning centuries, where culture and nature intertwine to create something truly extraordinary. That's the beauty of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. I'm Abigail, and this is Global Treasures, the podcast that covers the history, travel tips, and legends surrounding one of the 1,223 World Heritage Sites each episode. These places have been identified as having universal cultural or natural significance that is so exceptional that it transcends national boundaries and is of importance to present and future generations. Welcome to the finale of Season 2, where we explored the 45 sites that UNESCO added in 1979 together. Thank you for listening to the podcast. We appreciate all of your support, and you can continue to support us by subscribing at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and other major platforms. You can also follow us on TikTok and Facebook. If you like what you hear, please share this podcast with friends and family. Word of mouth is how we reach the most people. Virunga National Park is located in the Albertine Rift Valley of the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, also known as DRC for short. Recognized as Africa's first national park, it's one of the most ecologically diverse areas on the planet. Stretching approximately 186 square miles, it encompasses vast landscapes that span in elevation from the Semliki River Valley at 2,230 feet to the snow-capped Ruwenzori mountain range, with Mount Stanley standing at an astounding 16,762 feet. This makes it the third highest mountain in Africa, just behind Mount Kilimanjaro and Mount Kenya. This park, situated along the borders of Uganda and Rwanda, is a biologically rich ecosystem housing rainforests, savannas, wetlands, lava plains, and alpine regions. Virunga is known for its incredible profusion of wildlife, flora, fauna, and a rich cultural heritage from the various ethnic groups that reside in the areas surrounding the park, such as the Hutu, Tutsi, and Kumu peoples. Virunga also features two active volcanoes, Mount Nyiragongo and Mount Nyamuragira. These volcanoes have periodic eruptions that have dramatically reshaped the landscape and also play a significant role in enriching the soil. The park is home to more than 2,000 documented species of flora and fauna. In regards to the animal life, the park includes 196 types of mammals, 706 bird species, 109 reptiles, and 65 varieties of amphibians. Primates include the endangered mountain gorilla, chimpanzees, golden and red-tailed monkeys, warthogs, hippos, and okapi. The mountain gorilla is worth an extra mention, as they're rare and incredibly intelligent. When you look at them, their eyes speak volumes. However, it's actually a park rule that visitors must stay at least 22 feet away. This is to keep the gorillas safe because they have immune systems that haven't evolved to cope with human diseases. You can also see the occasional Nile crocodile near Lake Edwards or African bush elephants. Here's a fun fact. The spread and transport of seeds from which the various plant life grows is often through the dung of animals, such as African elephants. The area of the park, nestled next to Queen Elizabeth National Park, forms a lion conservation unit meant to help protect the animals and prevent poaching. If you're a bird watcher, you will have a field day in this park. Amongst the hundreds of birds, the regal sunbird is absolutely stunning and a true standout with its iridescent green, yellow and red colors that reflect in the sun. Virunga also includes Chagera Island, a volcanic caldera near the shores of Lake Kivu. Let's take a step back and dive into the park's origins. They can be traced back to the 1920s, when European conservationists championed the creation of a protected area in what was then the northeastern Belgian Congo. In April of 1925, Albert National Park was founded, originally covering just 193 miles. This reserve was meant to encourage the preservation and study of wildlife, flora, and fauna, as well as the pygmy communities, which were once regarded through a colonial lens as inferior. In 1929, the park was expanded to include the Virunga Mountains, the Rutshuru Territory, and the southern plains of Lake Edward. This expansion negatively impacted communities, as many indigenous peoples were removed from their ancestral lands. To manage the protected lands, Belgium funded scientific missions to conduct zoological, ethnographic, and geological research within the park, which greatly enhanced European understanding of how rich the Congo's biodiversity truly is. In 1969, Albert National Park and other protected areas were unified and renamed Virunga National Park. Virunga received further recognition in 1996 when it was designated as a Ramsar wetland of international importance due to its importance for global water ecology. But its conservation efforts have faced obstacles because of political instability. After the Rwandan genocide in 1994, it's estimated that around 850,000 refugees fled to the park's borders and entered the park in search of firewood, which caused deforestation that stemmed from desperation. The First and Second Congo Wars caused the area to further destabilize, leading to poaching and violence against park employees. Despite being nominated as a World Heritage Site all the way back in 1979, it has also been listed as a World Heritage Site in danger since 1994 due to regional conflict and increased human invasion, which has threatened its character. From 1996 to 2003, 80 park rangers were killed, and an assassination attempt was made against one of the chief wardens of the park in 2014. Armed groups used the park as a strategic stronghold, and unfortunately, occasional violence and instability persists, making Virunga one of the most dangerous conservation zones on the planet. In 2005, the European Commission suggested a public-private management model, and since 2010, the British NGO African Conservation Fund has been in charge of management. Efforts taken to protect Virunga includes paramilitary training for park rangers and park operations developing a working relationship with national security. This strategy has helped prevent poaching, but indigenous peoples state they've been banned from their ancestral lands as a result. Simultaneously, the exploitation of natural resources, such as oil, has remained a point of contention. In 2011, the British oil company Soco International was awarded permission to explore for crude oil within the park's boundaries. This was vehemently objected to by conservationists and the public alike. Outcry eventually led the company to stop operations and agree not to work within the boundaries of UNESCO World Heritage Sites moving forward. Despite the friction, attempts to grow sustainable tourism have continued. In 2015, the Congolese Ministry of Tourism initiated plans to develop Chagera Island into a tourist destination and improve the quality of the roads. By 2016, 4 hydroelectric dams had been built, which served to provide electricity to over 200,000 people. Unfortunately, armed conflict and violence continues. Between 2017 and 2018, 11 rangers were killed. In one case, the ranger was trying to protect 2 tourists who had been kidnapped. These deaths resulted in the park temporarily closing from June 2018 to February of 2019. There were further fatalities in April of 2020 and January 2021, when 18 rangers collectively died during ambushes. February 22nd of 2021 brought one of the park's darkest days, when Italy's ambassador to the DRC, his security guard, and their driver were killed after being kidnapped by militia and taken to Virunga National Park. Thankfully, rangers were able to rescue 4 other people, but the deaths further emphasized the ongoing danger to both locals and visitors. If you want to continue to learn more, there's a documentary named Virunga that focuses on the hard work of the park rangers. It was actually nominated for the Oscar for Best Documentary Feature. So this is usually the part where I transition to discussing how to visit the site, including logistics and other travel tips. However, at the time of recording, Virunga National Park is either closed to tourists or offers very limited access since the violence I mentioned in 2021. If the park reopens to full capacity, we'll be sure to share on various social media pages. However, I do want to touch on some of the basics for visiting the DRC and the park, assuming the process doesn't change upon reopening for treks and more. Historically, visitors can't visit Virunga independently. You would usually book a tour online through Virunga directly or a trusted tour operator that goes to Democratic Republic of the Congo. You would fly into Goma International Airport and take a private transport, again, usually arranged by the tour to get to the park. Having a tour also ensures it'll be conducted in your native language, as Swahili and French are the main languages spoken throughout the country. If you're going to DRC, I recommend enrolling into the STEP program, or whatever similar program is offered for travelers in countries outside of the U.S. The Congolese franc is the currency, but U.S. dollar bills may be accepted. However, within the park limits, there aren't ATMs, so having the local currency is to your benefit either way. I would suggest getting a Congolese SIM card as well, because while you may be able to get service throughout the country, roaming charges could be extensive. In order to enter the country, all international visitors need a visa and must have a vaccine card showing they've received the yellow fever vaccination. I highly suggest keeping a photocopy of your passport on you at all times, just in case. I also suggest a device to help you locate your luggage in case it gets lost, such as an Apple AirTag, and take photos of what you pack in your luggage in case it's lost and never found, so you can get at least partially reimbursed by the airline. In terms of what to pack, let's talk weather. March to May and September to November are the rainy seasons. The lower altitudes range between the 70s and 80 degrees in Fahrenheit during the hottest part of the year. You may want to bring mosquito repellent and ask your medical provider about bringing medicine to treat malaria, just to be on the safe side. Also, you may want to arrange for medical evaluation insurance as well. I think I should talk about this more often because many don't even realize that this exists, and it can truly be a lifesaver. There will be a host of links in the show notes to help make your trip planning a bit easier. Finally, I want to wrap up by talking about one of the richest parts of the Democratic Republic of the Congo's heritage, the food. Muamba nsusu is a truly delicious Congolese stew with chicken, peanut butter, and tomato in the base, along with a ton of spices. It's usually topped with crushed peanuts. It's the national dish, and it's only fitting that such a unique country be represented by cuisine that has every flavor profile reflected. So despite all of the difficulties, Virunga's importance cannot be understated. It's a sanctuary for remarkable biodiversity, and it plays an essential role in protecting endangered species like the mountain gorilla. Today, Virunga National Park remains an enigma, the heart of natural beauty and ecological significance. Yet, it's one that has been afflicted by strife, misuse, and loss. It has become a destination frequently referenced in international discussions regarding the ethics and challenges of preservation in areas of persistent insecurity. However, let your takeaways be positive ones. Despite all of the difficulties faced, Virunga National Park will forever serve as a symbol of resilience and the enduring faith that harmony can coexist between the humans and wildlife that inhabit this breathtaking land that they share. Join us for our next episode, and the very first for Season 3. Until then, keep exploring, keep wondering, and keep treasuring the remarkable diversity of our world's heritage.